We welcome you live to the penultimate race of the Saturday Night Thunder Cup Series. We had some technical difficulties there getting through qualifying, but we're live now and ready to go just with a minute or so left in this warm-up session. It was the 99 of Jordan Kuntz who took the pole over James Thurston and the rest of the field. And as we sit and watch, it's Tyler Sievert, one of just 3 or 4 cars, I believe, to set a lap in this practice session. 5 minutes these drivers get after qualifying. That one more lap, of course. I am your producer and commentator, River Page, and here we are from Auto Club for 180 miles, 90 laps from the second to last race of the season, the second race of this final playoff round. Now, I'm not sure about the point standings, but I would assume that it's Matthew Weeks, the points leader, but it's going to be a very tight battle between Weeks and Vinny, and the 99 of Kuntz, as it has been all season, with those two being the dominant forces of the league so far. And we watch here Tyler Sievert crashing into the wall. That 77 machine, 16-car field today here from Fontana, the recently disfigured track in real life. Very sad. And as we watch the clock ticking down to 0. So the warm-up session, the extra practice, whatever you want to call it, will come to a close. And we will be ready for throttle up from Auto Club. And it will be the 99 of Kuntz and the 96 of James Thurston on the front row. Jordan Kuntz looking for yet another win. Good points day for the 99 last week, so you can get it done here today from Auto Club. It's Jordan Kuntz on the pole alongside Alec Daffin, who actually swiped second place from Jim Thurston right there at the end of qualifying. So the 48 machine will line up in position number 2 on that outside line. James Thurston in third with Jackson Van Pelt in fourth. Ahead of Vinny Tigner in the 12. Matthew Weeks in the number 11 machine will start 6th. Alexander Balderas lines up in the 7th position ahead of Connor Azabel in 8th. And rounding up the top 10, Matt Grab and Daniel Silla. Row 6, 11th, and 12th is going to be Henry Kaloff, Chris Tripp. Row 7 is going to be James Bowden in 13th, Tyler Sievert in 14th. And rounding out the field is Roger Sievert and Curtis Sobrin. And so that will do it for your grid. A small field today. Not as many cars showing up here as there were at Chicagoland last week, but the hype is still there. A night race, and we get to see what these drivers will do strategy-wise. It's going to be hard. Split the race right in the middle. We'll see how that all unfolds. James Thurston looking for another win as a part-time driver to break up those playoff drivers, getting it done week in and week out in this league. But it will be Jordan Kuntz on the pole, looking to take his role back as the dominant force of the field. And as the final cars get on to the racetrack, we'll be ready to go for Auto Club. As the field rolls off up pit road and down the back straightaway, Jordan Kuntz looking for yet another win in the Premier Series here in SNT. That 99 machine trying to get it done once more here at Auto Club. James Thurston behind him looking to go back-to-back in that number 96 machine. Alongside him is Alec Daffin, hunting for a win. Has not been to victory lane in a little bit now. And behind him is Jackson Van Pelt in the 07. A very good qualifying effort here for that number 07 machine. Vinny Tigner in 5th. On the inside alongside him is Matthew Weeks. Looking for another win. Had a chance at 3 in a row last week, but couldn't get it done because of that man right there in that Power Smash Infinity Speed Motorsport, sponsored by Heart Attack Energy, brought to you by the IORA Cup Series, number 96 of James Thurston. And the pace car is off of the track into the restart zone. Barney drops the green flag. We're underway from Fontana. Jordan Kuntz will lead the field of green. And 4 to complete lap number 1. Daffin holding steady on the top. It will be Alec Daffin leading lap number 1. Coots on the bottom. Thurston hot on his heels. Van Pelt holding 4th on the outside of Thurston. Tigner and Balderas 5th and 6th. Turn number 1. They go side by side. 3 wide for the lead. As Thurston peaked inside, drops back, still side by side. The 48 will be able to complete the pass for the race lead off of turn 2. Off of turn 4, Alec Daffin comfortably out in front. Thurston, Balderas, Van Pelt, and Tigner all jockeying for position. 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th up for grabs, with the race leader splitting away already, with Daffin pulling out a sizable lead. Into 1 and 2 he goes, running down to the bottom, conserving tires, but that line might be the place to be later on here in the night when the track gets cold. Down the back straightaway they go. Thurston, Balderas trying to get up in line. Thurston's going to clear him, and that puts Balderas up into 5th. Thurston drops back 1 position from his original order of 3rd, and he runs up to the outside lane now, trying to get something started here. Balderas on his inside off of turn 4. They're going to be 3 wide for 4th. Balderas in the middle. 1 car into the wall, into the grass. That will be Matt Grab, I believe, in the 53 machine. He gets it all gathered up. Loses the spot, ends up P12. The 1 car on the track, that's Chris Tripp, who did not make it to the start, but it's Daffin in front from Kuntz. Balderas around the outside of Jackson Van Pelt as they go side by side for 3rd. Balderas now has the inside line on the 07 into 3 and 4. Thurston right tucked up behind Jackson's Ford Mustang as he looks high, running that middle line through 3 and 4. So much lane choice here at Auto Club. You see that top lane getting worked in. The bottom and the top are going to be, I think, pretty even in 1 and 2, but especially in 3 and 4, you can use essentially every lane on the track, which creates some of the best racing on this iRacing.com. As Balderas is going to keep clear of these guys into 1 and 2. Tigner sails it into the first corners down on the bottom of Balderas. He won't be able to make a pass. Thurston's going to carry the momentum off the outside line, and he will take over the 4th spot once more as the 07 of Pelt falls back. He positions into the grass of Connor Asbell looking for 6th. Balderas on the outside of Thurston now as they go at it for 3rd. Jim on the bottom. Baldy on the top off of turn 4 there. Even dead heat for the position across the line. It's Thurston who gets the momentum off, and James Thurston into a podium position in the Power Smash Infinity Speed Motorsport Machine. Brought to you by Heart Attack Energy and brought to you by the IORA Cup Series, as Jim will take over 3rd. Balderas under fire from the 12 of Tigner now. Down the back straightaway they go. The cars in the back of the field starting to fade away from this top 12 or so, as Tigner holds the bottom on Baldy. The Ford's going at it for 3rd, 4th, and 5th. A Ford in 2nd, but it's all Chevy out in front of Bowtie leading the field to the line to complete lap number 6, and it's been all Alec Daffin so far. Still side by side for 4th with Balderas and Tigner. Looks like the 95 is going to have the advantage here into 1 and 2 with that outside line. Class of the field here early as he leads through 1 and 2. You see the 72 of Asbell jumping high through 1 and 2. Using that line to his advantage. May not be the best for tires, but it will be the best for pace, I think, right now. So we'll see. Down the back straightaway they go. Balderas still ahead of Tigner. They stay relatively close, but it looks like Balderas is going to clear him through 3 and 4. Thurston under fire now from the 95 as they get choked up there from second on the back. Bumper to bumper for that position. Thurston on the tail end of Kuntz. Into 1 and 2. Thurston right on that second groove. He's going to get to the outside. Using the aero effect from these Xfinity cars to put some air on that right rear. That's going to get the car on your inside really tight. We saw that used to the fullest extent by Chase Schaffer last time the IORA Cup Series was at Chicagoland. We saw it was Thurston who was the car on the bottom, got air on his right rear, and it ended up forcing him up into Schaffer as it got his car really uncontrollably tight. And he ended up in the outside wall head on as Thurston takes second now using that strategy exactly. But as we head to lap 09, first time in what feels like forever, I've remembered to do this. We'd like to thank our associate here at Fireball Talks NASCAR, Tango Paints. Contact Talon on Twitter using the tag Tango Paints for the most top-notch schemes, provided a starting price of 50 small ones, and represent your iRacing identity along the way. This is your Tango Paints Lap 09, presented live here from FTN at Auto Club, and it is the 96 of Thurston trying to put the pressure on Alec Daffin as they come to the line to complete lap 9, 10% of the way into the race, and it's Alec Daffin who's led them all so far. Into 1 and 2, challenging for fourth is Tigner on the bottom of Balderas still. Jordan Kuntz starting to slip back, saving his tires, putting a lot of use on that right rear, trying to keep the steering wheel input as minimalistic as he can. We know the 99 is not just going to be slow. That's just not something that ever crosses his mind. He's definitely trying to pull the strategy out right here. Off of turn 4 once more. The 99 starting to slow up, dropping these, slowing these guys back from the race leaders a little bit. Off of turn 2, riding on board with Balderas as the 12 of Tigner is through Balderas, moving on to the 99 of Kuntz as Jordan will slip back in that Shaw Racing Ford Mustang to 4th. Balderas looking to the inside will put the 99 back to 5th. Now the 72 of Asbell is going to challenge for 6th. Off of turn 4, Asbell's going to have that spot. He looks to the inside on Baldy now. That Spotify machine is going to have to run the outside in 1 and 2 once again. He's been pushed up there, forced wide, and raced all race long, it seems like, from that 12 of Tigner. Now it's Asbell fighting with him. Balderas on that third line, same as Thurston up ahead, running for the race lead, but the 72 of Asbell pulls the slide job on Baldy. Balderas cutting back to the inside. Side by side they stay. Van Pelt into 6th. It's Kaloff into 7th. Kuntz dropping to 8th, and it looks like he might be passed by Silla now. And that 6th machine behind, but as they come off a turn 4, Balderas slipping up the racetrack, barely keeping the rear end underneath him as they come off a turn 4 to cross the line. 12 laps in the books, and a great battle so far from the leaders behind. This battle for 4th now it is between Balderas and Asbell. Balderas feeling the pressure now from Henry Kaloff and Jackson Van Pelt behind him as they come through 1 and 2. Balderas in between them in the middle as one car gets to his outside. That's Van Pelt in the 07. Challenging Balderas. Asbell watching this in his mirror as he challenges Balderas, gets around him in about a lap, and he's moved on here to trying to chase down Vinny Tigner and the race leaders Thurston and Daffin, who continue to put distance on the field as they come to the line to complete lap number 13 of 90. It's Alec Daffin out in front. Daffin stays the race leader off for turn 2. Thurston and Daffin with a steady gap. Down the back straightaway, still battling further on with Balderas. Flipping, trying to stay in the top 5. 3 and 4. To complete lap 14. Time by 30 miles in the books, and it's Daffin still in front. You see the field has thinned out a little bit behind them. Balderas trying to challenge, but he's ultimately lost the battle as he slips to 6th, and the field starts to get single filed out finally. After some great battling there, it's Balderas in 5th ahead of 6th, ahead of Kaloff in 7th. Curtis Sabran in 8th in that 54. Matt Grab slipped up earlier on. He's back up into 9th. Jordan Kuntz has fallen all the way back to 10th right here. Really trying to save his stuff. I think that's the case right here. It does not seem like he's just doing this willingly. See how little steering he's putting into that car versus Silla here off of turn 4. Looks like Silla's actually doing a good job as well. Well, he's counter steering that thing. Swinging the rear end out as Kuntz continues to sit back in 10th. Not a good day so far for Jordan, but I think he's going to be able to make it up as this run continues on. Alec Daffin, your race leader. The 12 of Tigner has closed him quite a bit to these guys. Off into 3 and 4, you see the 48 staying a little higher in the corners than Thurston, the 12, who are getting right down on that white line. Not like in real life, but in iRacing, you can't quite utilize the apron. Maybe get 2 tires on it for just a fraction of a second. As I head back into 1 and 2, you see Daffin still not quite making it to the bottom in 1 and 2. He's going to get right down on that yellow line, or that white line rather. Thurston keeping a lower exit, protecting the right front. You see the battle for 6th between Kaloff and Balderas has ultimately changed places, and it's Balderas who slips to 7th behind Kaloff, having another good run. The 3 and 4, you see Thurston up into that second groove in 1 and 2. The car behind this groove is Connor Asbell utilizing the 3rd groove in that middle line. Jackson Van Pelt on his rear end. Kaloff and Balderas flipping back a little bit as Curtis Sabran ends up in 8th with Matt Grab on his tail in 9th. Daniel Silla has ultimately gotten around Jordan Kuntz, who rides in 11th. See most of the cars in front of Kuntz up on that outside line. For turn 4. Jordan Kuntz here. Is saving fuel? I don't think that's the case. He definitely went into that corner full power. Interesting strategy here from Kuntz, who has ultimately let the leaders pull about a 5.5 second gap on him as the 12 of Tigner has arrived at the scene. He's going to challenge James Thurston for 2nd. To the inside, Thurston riding up high in that middle groove, slides up to the outside, right against the wall, is going to carry the momentum off of the corner. They stay side by side with Daffin pulling away. Loves to say the battling in his mirror, but Thurston's going to let him by quick. 20 laps in the books here from Auto Club. So, it seems like a rarity these days with all the races I get to produce being filled with cautions. This one going green, we will take you to a Crank It Up, brought to you by FTN. James Thurston here we watch in the third position. He is saving fuel, and you see that's going to be the strategy to use. If any of you heard right there when we were on board with Balderas, clutching in the corners, shutting off the motor, saving some fuel, and that's exactly what Thurston is doing. Right on board with Thurston here. Listen to him under the 1 and 2. He's going to drop the clutch, shut off the motor. Fortunately, we can't see the ignition switch or the gauge lights, but I would assume he's shutting the car off right here. Trying to make it to lap 45. And I think that confirms kind of what Jordan Kuntz is trying to do, but he's just doing it in such an interesting way. I don't know. Because he's not shutting the car off. He's not using the clutch at all. It sounds like he's driving it normally. He might just be really hard saving on those tires, but never know until it happens. But it's Alec Gaffin, the race leader right now, ahead of Tigner, Thurston, Asbel, and Van Pelt. Back in 1 and 2, Alexander Balderas has slipped to 8 as Matt Grab has ultimately made a pass on him. And here comes the 54 of Curtis Sobran in the Ty Gibbs Toyota Monster Energy machine. Looking to the outside off of turn 2 as Grab is going to get around Henry Kalhoff. Off of turn 4, Grab comfortably out in front of the cars behind him. Now he's up into 6th after making that big mistake. Wonder where he would be without that little trip to the infield grass. But James Thurston has been passed by Connor Azabel for 3rd. And Jackson Van Pelt is closing on in. Let's listen in on Azabel and see what is like on his car, or in his car, see how he's driving it. Because I think Thurston might be one of the only cars to be really fuel saving here. I think it is just going to be Thurston and Balderas. Matthew Weeks also, haven't talked about him at all really today, but he's back here in 12th and 13th. 9 seconds off of the race leader, so these guys are maybe trying for the overcut. I'm just not sure. Gonna have to wait and see out this strategy to the end. Gaffin still in front with a comfortable lead over Vinny Tigner. He has led every single lap today. Coming up on 29 laps led in that 48 machine, dominant car of the field. Coming off of turn 2, 1/3 of the race complete in the books here. We watch and wait antagonizingly long, it feels like, as these guys continue to lose pace until they hit the green flag pit cycles. Connor Asbel having a fantastic run right here. Playoff driver in the final round. It's looking like he is going to have a very solid chance at a good finish in the playoffs here in this final round. Now the back straightaway again, 1/3 of the race in the books. Henry Kalhoff flipping back to 9th after racing with Balderas. Balderas has gotten by him, and the 95 is back up into 7th place, still on that fuel strategy, that fuel saving strategy. We ride on board with Balderas, hear how he's driving it. That'll tell us how comfortable he is with making it or not. And still on for sure as Thurston is as well. Him slipping back to 4th, and Jackson Van Pelt looking to the inside. Here comes the 07. Into 3 and 4, he will take the spot away. And so the 07 of Van Pelt into 4th, Thurston into 5th. And the front straightaway, Thurston not going to challenge. Matt Grab closing up to these two in the 6th position as we hit lap 33 this time by. Going to see some drivers pit soon. And why don't we talk to one of these guys that's here fuel saving? So, Alexander Balderas, you're saving fuel. When are these leaders going to pit?
We don't know. Jim and I are concocting a strategy that on lap 8, I noticed that we only had to save 2 laps to split the race evenly, and it would have been 4 to 5 laps not to the good that the leaders would have been had they been running flat out or like we were at the beginning of the race. So Jim and I have been doing this fuel-saving strategy for a while. I'm driving one-handed right now because my left hand and arm is on the I key on my keyboard for the ignition, so my right shoulder's starting to hurt, but we're going to keep going to the strategy. We're going to try and make it over 45, which means we wouldn't have to pit or save fuel at all in the second run, which would save us a lot of trouble, and that's why we're getting it done now.
What's your like estimated fuel? How laps?
So
many laps
I got 11.7 laps right now. Jim is a couple, like, I think he's like 1 lap below me. I think he's at like 10 point something. But he and I have been cooking up this strategy since lap 8. So far, I think we're the only people who have noticed that, who haven't dropped off the face of the earth like Kuntz and them. I think that they're saving. The leader's pitting now, so he's pitting way. I don't know what that strategy is. He's not making it to the end. I don't know what that plan is. But Jim and I, we're going to the end for sure.
All right, thank you. So Alec Daffin decides to pull up into pit road, and you heard the exclamation from Balderas there as he watched his counterpart come into pit road. I don't know how this is going to work for him. Vinny Tigner is going to have to come in. I think Vinny has a pretty solid chance at getting this race, getting the win here if he can make it to 45, because that undercut just doesn't work with this car. And I hope he doesn't bite the bullet and pit now, because I don't think it's going to be the right thing to do. Tigner across the line, running the outside on the front straightaway. Going to lose him some time, I think, but the 48 coming out of pit road right there. There's Daffin on the apron. He's going to be able to push now, full push, and he's about to get lapped. He is going to get lapped right there through 1 and 2. So he will be 1 lap down. Vinny Tigner, the race leader. Connor Azabel into 2nd. Van Pelt 3rd. Thurston, of course, fuel saving. Matt Grab up into 5th with that pit. Looks like Daniel Silla. No, he was just lagging. And so he wasn't on our screen for a second. Matt Grab having some internet troubles. But it's Tigner in front as you see the 48. Look at the speed difference as he comes flying up to the back end of the 12. The middle on the front straightaway. Daffin will be able to get his lap back here through 1 and 2. As Grab comes into pit road, he will be the 2nd car to pit. And look at this battle. But they're basically the rest of the field from 7th or 8th on back. You guys are all within a second or 2 of each other. It's led by, oh, look at this, 3 wide, 4 wide. The 11 of Weeks trying to make it 4 wide. Now the 6 pulls back into line. Weeks to the middle, the 52 of Bowden covering the inside off. 6 to the high side in 3 and 4. That's where these leaders, or these faster cars pace going to start to come in. You see the 6 starting to get a little desperate up to the outside. Kaloff as well. And here comes Weeks looking to the middle behind Bowden, now trying to get around Kaloff before he challenges this 52. He's going to look to the middle, has to check up a little bit, not really sure where Bowden's trying to go. Through 1 and 2 once more. Weeks can't get it done. Still, Vinny Tigner in front of Asbel, 2 seconds behind. And it's Jackson Van Pelt, James Thurston behind them. Balderas pretty comfortably saying he's going to be able to make it to 45. And if these guys can make it to 46 or 47, I think they can full push all the way to the end. So it's going to be exciting to see. One of GC Curtis Sauber in the 6th. I believe making his first start today, or in the 54, excuse me, up into the 6th position. Having a good run, but look at that pack behind him. Bowden still in front of these guys as they've single filed out. aside from Silla and Kalhoff. Kalhoff slipping to the back. Burned up his tires, and now he's starting to struggle. Off of turn 4, still no takers on the pit strategy. Off of turn 4, you see 48 of Daffin in the world of his own right here, 33 seconds behind the race leader. There's Tigner, still out on the track, lap 40. He has not pitted. Thurston and Balderas hoping that these guys start to come in soon, or else that strategy is going to be all for naught. Into 1 and 2. Still a close battle between Bowden and the rest of the pack behind him, with Matthew Weeks trying to charge. And Weeks is definitely trying to save fuel. I think Jordan Kuntz is too, but Kuntz just must be doing it in an interesting way where he's shutting the motor off or using the clutch. Now he's on the clutch. Side by side ahead of them, Bowden on the middle, on the inside of Weeks through 1 and 2. Weeks squeezing him down on that right rear, and Matthew Weeks is going to be able to comfortably take the spot away off of turn 2. The 52 will jump in line behind him. Now it looks like he's going to fight back. Bowden with a good run down the back straightaway. And here comes Azabel onto pit road with Jackson Van Pelt. Thurston able to stay out. We'll see if anyone else comes in. Here comes Bowden. No, he's just running the bottom still off the corner. But it will be Van Pelt and Asbel coming in. Here you see one car down on pit road already, I believe. There's Siebert coming in. The 54 of Saubern on pit road with Henry Kalhoff behind him. Daniel Silla is sideways on pit road. And he is not moving. Daniel Silla spins out of his pit box, hits the wall. There is no caution. They're still green. And Silla will tow. That may be his race over. Unbelievable. Wrecking in pit road, and here comes Daffin. Wait, is this Daffin? No. My goodness, I thought I was on board. Oh, it is. Alec Daffin pitting again? Oh, excuse me. Daffin was not the car that came in at first. Yeah, he was. That's man, something's going on with me here. I believe Daffin just pit for a second time, realizing that he couldn't make it. I'm not sure what the strategy is for Daffin. Of course, he was out in front, but he came into pit road, so now it's Balderas in the race lead as Thurston dives off into pit road. He cannot make it, but Balderas can. That's huge. He's going to make it halfway. Well, it's going to be close, I think, if he makes it or not. Jordan, oh, he's almost spinning. Matthew Weeks and Jordan Kuntz are still comfortably out there, though. Balderas, I believe, is going to have to come in this time. We'll see. There it is, fully off the gas. Balderas dives down. Weeks will stay out. Kuntz comes in with Bally. The race lead will be handed over to Matthew Weeks as Balderas goes for a drift into pit road. He made it in just fine along with Kuntz. Vinny Tigner out of pit road. He's fourth. The last car to not pit is Matthew Weeks. There's Thurston, who pit ahead of Balderas. He is still on the lead lap. Only about 7 seconds behind the guys that pitted earlier, so we'll see what happens here. If those guys that pit early can make it. Vinny Tigner pit on lap 41. Or he pit on lap 42 or 43, so I don't know if this fuel saving strategy is going to work out. If it is, I think it's going to work out for everybody. Here's Tigner. Matthew Weeks still on the track. I cannot believe he saved enough. Balderas exiting pit road right there. Modify machine heading out. Greg Kalhoff getting on lap from Weeks. As Weeks drops down trying to get any draft he can to minimize the fuel usage into 3 and 4. I think we see him come down here. There's no way he makes it anymore. Yep, here comes Weeks down on the inside. No. Oh, yes. Oh, around he goes. He gathers it up. Saves it. That might have actually gained him some time as he slid into pit road. Formula drifts it onto pit lane. And here comes Vinny Tigner. He'll take the lead. Connor Asbell behind him, right on the back bumper, in fact, of Tigner, trying to challenge for the lead. It's Van Pelt will take third. Thurston will take over fourth. Tauberg in sixth, and Balderas in seventh, being challenged by Kalhoff. Going to have that spot. Matthew Weeks is down, and then on the pit road, there goes Vinny Tigner taking the spot away. And to the race lead once more is Vinny Tigner, out in front of the number 12. And there goes Connor Asbell taking the race lead. What a move. That's the pace advantage. Tigner has 1 lap newer tires, but he goes right around him and to the race lead as Tigner starts to slip back. I believe the 12 is saving fuel. Listen in. No, I don't think so. He's just losing some pace. Asbell full pushing right here out in front, trying to stretch that lead out. Van Pelt in third, Thurston in fourth. Hear how he's driving it. I think he's confident he can make it now. And he is. Thurston came in on lap 44, and he is saving fuel. I think Matthew Weeks might be the only car that's comfortably in the good. Eric Callum ahead of him, Jordan Kuntz there as well. Exiting way low, so Kuntz is still on the fuel-saving grind. As Vinny Tigner takes the lead back from Asbell as he challenges. Let him by, let him have his fun, and now the 12 will take the lead right back. Off of turn 4, Vinny Tigner, the race leader. Closing in on this battle is Jackson Van Pelt in third. At 07 machine, playoff driver looking for a good result, and I think he's going to get one here. James Thurston closing in as well. As Asbell right on the back bumper of the number 12, the battle for the lead still raging on. The 72 wants it, that Fast Cast Racing Products Chevrolet Camaro. He's looking to the inside, trying to get the side draft. Tigner right against the fence. On the front straightaway they go. 1 and 2. And the 72 back to the front. Tigner sitting in line, looking to make a move back again. It would be another lead change. Then the 72 in front made a pass. Now the 12 got back around him, and then Asbell took the lead again. And Connor Asbell looking to lead some laps here. This will be his 3rd lap led of the race. Tigner chasing him down. He's been the other dominant car. It's only been 12 laps led, but he was in 2nd for most of the time that he wasn't leading. Matthew Weeks and Jordan Kuhn sit here 14 seconds behind the race leaders, but it's Alec Daffin who did not get the jump he needed. But the first 33 laps of the race in succession. Him in the pit road. Interesting strategy. Thought he was just going to try and make it a 2-stopper. And he did make it a 2-stopper, but he didn't really play it out in the way I thought he would. He pit with the rest of the field, and he is 18 seconds behind the race leader. Looking like it's not going to be a victory today for the 48 unless he can get a caution or something, as here comes Jackson Van Pelt in the 07, closing back up to this lead battle. Thurston has fallen off of these guys, and the 07 of Van Pelt is running some of the fastest laps on the racetrack right now. And there goes the 07. Jackson Van Pelt will take the spot away. 2nd place, that is, from the 12 of Tigner. As this race has really simmered down to fuel strategy. Here's Alexander Balderas in P6. Completely on the clutch. Through 1 and 2. Thurston in the same boat. There's Jim getting passed by the 54 of Sabrin, who looks like he does not have any intention of saving fuel. Before in fact is on running that top lane, he is definitely not going to make it doing that. He's going to try and stick it out though, maybe hope for a caution. That would be safe. That would be the saving grace right here. If he can get a yellow, keep him in the front without worrying about fuel. And the race lead belongs to Connor Asbell, who is stretching it out. But as the field simmers down, we'll take a break. Come back to you for the last under 30 laps here of the Auto Club 180, and 90 laps has come down to this, 30 to go when we come back.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Boundless makes its presence felt. It will not be ignored. We're helping turn ideas into reality with a wealth of building products that take every architectural style to the next level. This is what it's like to imagine, build, and transform anything we want into exactly what we seek. This is what it means to be boundless.
Once again, welcome back, race fans, to the World Center of Racing, Daytona National Speedway, as we get set for our second on-track activity today.
Racing requires everything that you've got. Climbing into NASCAR on Sunday, it feels like you're getting ready to go into battle.
When I hit that ignition switch, that car fires up. It's one of the best things in the world.
Coming back to you live here at Auto Club and FTN's coverage of the Saturday Night Thunder Racing League from Fontana. And we ran on board with Alexander Balderas, who has made the pass on James Thurston. Those two cars that we've been intently watching save fuel. Thurston has lost the position to Balderas. Balderas, remember, was able to pit one lap later than Thurston. As Henry Caloff peeks downstairs on Balderas. He pit 4 laps before these guys, so there's no chance that he's going to make it on fuel. Same goes for Asbel and Van Pelt. Vinny Tigner in third. I don't know about him. And then 1 and 2, you really don't hear any fuel setting out of him. The 54 of Sovereign on the outside, making a pass. Look at this battle for fifth. Matthew Weeks is up here now, with Balderas, Caloff all under a blanket. Thurston has lost touch of all of them. Remember, Matthew Weeks on the shortest stint of all these guys. He's made it just 16 laps. I don't think he has to save at all. And he is stretching that gap out immediately after making the pass. Look at Caloff, though, really not making it easy on Jordan Kuntz on the inside. The 99 is going to clear him off of turn 2. Balderas watching these guys fade away. Thurston right there as well. James Bowden back in 10th. Alec Daffin is in 11th, only 15 seconds off the race leaders now. A bad day for Daffin, who pit early, hit again, and I don't think that's going to work out for him. We'll have to see. He's made up some time on these race leaders, though. 4 seconds, in fact, on Isabel. As Vinny Tigner looks to the inside on Jackson Van Pelt, and the 07, who is riding in second, is going to fall back to the grass of the 12, and he is around him and into the podium positions once more. You see that group behind these two. The race leader, Asbel, really pulling away, though. Connor Asbel, what an impressive job he's done right here. And now I think he's trying to fuel save. And that would make things really, really interesting. Yeah, he's saving. Man. So Asbel is going to try and save fuel. He has been going for 3 laps longer than Kuntz and Balderas. 5 laps longer than Matthew Weeks. I don't know if there's a chance that he makes it. Gonna have to save so much. You hear him on the clutch, and that's allowing the cars behind him to close in. Sauber closing the gap. Daffin is almost within 10 seconds now. Weeks and Kuntz are within 5. And they played this strategy right. I would be the first to admit I didn't see it coming. I didn't think that they were going to be here at the end, just because it didn't seem like they were saving. It seemed like they were just plain slow. And here they are, Jordan Kuntz, and especially Matthew Weeks has done a fantastic job of saving fuel as we near 20 laps to go. He's going to be here at the end. I think K11 is going to be able to get it done if he can hold off the 99 and the 95 of Balderas, who's there as well. As soon as these guys got by, he turned on the jets, and he's hanging tight to the back of the 99 machine as they're both trying to get around Jackson Van Pelt, slipping back outside of the top 5 with that pass there, or with Kuntz getting the nose in front. Not quite a pass. Off of turn 4, all single file now. Weeks into 4th, and the battle for the race lead is here. Sauberin, who is really pushing it now. I don't think he's going to be able to make it on gas. He's just going to try and get up in the front and lead some laps here. As Connor Azabel continues to save, he's allowing those cars to catch up. Daffin in 9 seconds. Thurston 6 seconds behind, and these cars third on back with Tigner, Weeks, Kuntz, Balderas 2 seconds behind the race lead. And this is going to get exciting right now. Everything has come together exactly the way the fuel savers wanted it to go. Through 1 and 2, Sauberin has been really pushing in, running that top line. It sounds like the 72 might not be fuel saving anymore. I don't think he's got it. I don't think he trusts it. That thing's still getting shut off. Sauberin was making up time, losing some time now as Tigner really having to save hard as well. Now he realized that strategy was not going to work out, and he needs to save, and that is slowing him down very, very much as they come through the tri-oval, the front straightaway once more. The 12 loses a lot of time to the race leaders as Curtis Sauberin is down on the pit road, and his quest for the win will be pretty much killed off with that one. But here comes Matthew Weeks leading this pack of cars behind him with Kuntz and Balderas. Listen to these guys. They are no longer saving. They are going at it now. Balderas still on the clutch, but he's keeping up with these guys. Off of turn 4, the gap is within a second to Azabel. Down the front straightaway, Connor Azabel has done a great job today. 21 laps led. You see right there. Through 1 and 2, losing so much time. Azabel having to save so hard. Down the back straightaway. I think Weeks is going to get him here. Maybe next lap in 1 and 2, but it's coming up. Into 1 and 2. Here they come. Weeks closing the gap. It's 6/10 now. Azabel sort of opened it up right there. He got on it. He's done saving fuel. He's going now. If he makes it, he makes it. If he doesn't, he doesn't. But it is full send now for Connor Azabel, looking for his first win in the Xfinity Series here. This Saturday Night Trucks, or Saturday Night Thunder now. Racing League, the 72 is still in front and keeping the gap at bay. Balderas has lost touch with those two cars on the same strategy. Weeks and Kuntz are the only ones left as Tigner starts to fight back. Balderas now being overtaken by the 54, trying to get back on the lead lap as he falls behind, 1.2 seconds behind these two, Weeks and Kuntz. Into 3 and 4, Weeks closing the gap, 0.4 of a second now through 3 and 4. Coming to 15 to go. How exciting has this been? Down the stretch, across the line, the gap is 0.5 again as Azabel pulled a lead there. A faster lap time. He's 41.5 to Weeks is 41.9. Unbelievable. And the 72 make it on fuel, we gotta know. Into 3 and 4, the 72 to the inside. The 54 of Sabrin is going to get his lap back. There's going to be contact! Around goes Sabrin. He saves it. And here comes Matthew Weeks with the run. Weeks to the bottom. Matthew Weeks to the point. Unbelievable. On board with Weeks. Sabrin going to the outside, getting his lap back. The 72 just slides up, nothing you can do. So old tires. And look at the momentum as the 72 really had to get out of the gas. Matthew Weeks to the race lead, sets sail from Azabel and the rest of the pack behind. Jordan Kuntz trying to be the next one to get around Connor for second. Into 1 and 2, nearing 10 laps to go. Matthew Weeks closing in on yet another race win, looking for the championship next weekend. Here he comes across the line, taking 12 laps to go. Next week, Legacy Atlanta, trying to get it done there. I don't think he's going to have to hold off anyone now as Kuntz and the 72 are starting to lose touch. Balderas as well in fourth. Through 3 and 4 one more time. Matthew Weeks keeping a lead at bay, about 0.5 of a second to Azabel, who is staying even with him. I don't know if Azabel can make it. He's having such a good run right now, but gonna have to make it to the end. Down the back straightaway, leading the race and pulling away from the pack. Still 0.5 to Azabel, but he loses some time right there. Balderas closing into Kuntz and Azabel now. And here comes the 48 who has pit again. Alec Daffin, he pit, must have not taken fuel, had to pit again and still couldn't make it. So he pit twice and he can't make it. What an unfortunate day for Daffin. And look at Balderas now, running some of the fastest laps on the track. He was faster than everyone ahead of him. James Thurston, the only one out here running faster than them on this strategy. Running faster than Balderas, should I say. They head down to 3 and 4. 9 laps to go this time by. Here comes the 48, Daffin to the bottom, getting his lap back. And Balderas closing the gap in. It's 1.8 seconds now. I think he's going to be able to get onto the podium. But it's Matthew Weeks' race to lose now. Azabel still 5/10 off of him. I don't know. Balderas is starting to gain. Not enough to be there for the race win, but I think Weeks kind of underestimated how much he'd need to save on this second run. And Azabel's making up time. Back into 3 and 4. Azabel still 5/10 behind. Must be agonizing, looking for that win. What a run it has been for Azabel. Down the front straightaway within 5/10, 7 laps to go. Azabel up to the middle now. It's definitely all or nothing for that 72. Jordan Kuntz under fire from Balderas behind him as James Thurston has lost touch with this group. He was another car on that fuel-saving strategy, but it hasn't gone well for him. Neither has it gone well for Vinny Tigner, who's 12 seconds off of the race leaders now. Off of turn 4, Azabel within 5/10 again, right on that gap between 5/10 and 4/10. Staying on the outside, out of the draft on the front stretch. I have to say, I really don't know why they're doing that. Seen some drivers running the outside on the front straightaway. It's definitely slower. And he lost some time there. Kuntz under fire from Balderas, the 95 closing in. He's comfortably going to make it now, I believe. Still 2 seconds off of Matthew Weeks. Azabel starting to lose some time now. He was holding on to him, but the 11 has turned on the afterburners just a second ago, and he's pulled the gap out to 0.8 of a second. Five laps to go for Matthew Weeks, looking for a win again here in this season in the Saturday Night Thunder Grand National Series. It has been all Matthew Weeks this year. Him and Kuntz have been the dominant forces of the league. And into pit road comes Connor Azabel. He could not make it, and it's a heartbreaking decision that driver has to make. But ultimately, he will come in, take fuel, stop and go. He'll come out of pit road, probably outside of the top 10. Disappointing way to end the race for him as Thurston's on by. That puts Balderas into third, trying to get around Jordan Kuntz. They're 3 and 4. Matthew Weeks has put on a clinic here in these last few laps. He's going to have 3 more to do it. He's got 2 seconds back to Kuntz and Baldy. He could save now if he wanted. Now he runs up to the high side. Caution-free race. 16 cars in the field, so it's allowed them to stay pretty spread out. But there has been plenty of battling to go along with it, and we have not seen the yellow flag once. Green flag from green to checkered, no yellow in between, and it's going to be 2 laps to go. 1 more lap for this field to keep it clean. And look at the battle for second. Here comes Balderas looking to the outside, switches back, almost turns Kuntz. We might see a caution here between these two if they don't stop getting aggressive here. 2 laps to go. I don't think Balderas is going to be too happy about that. I'm sure even if it was his fault, he's going to be more aggressive now. Off of turn 2. Weeks over 2.5 seconds out in front now. And he's going to get the white flag here comfortably. And I think Matthew Weeks is going to be able to walk home to yet another victory. Balderas looking to the outside. Here he comes. White flag is in the air for Matthew Weeks. And he's got a huge gap to go with it. All by himself now. All he has to do is take it slow, and that's exactly what he's doing. The battle for second is what we want to watch here as Balderas tries to get around the 99. Matthew Weeks into 3 and 4. He won 2 in a row at Nashville, and he won Texas and Nashville back to back. Thurston broke up that streak, but the 11 of Weeks is going to come back to victory lane. Matthew Weeks will win from Fontana in the penultimate race of the series. It's Balderas who gets second at the line. Jordan Kuntz out of gas. James Thurston will stumble to the line 4th. Vinny Tigner will end up in 5th. Dauberan, after pitting from 2nd, will end up 6th. Assuming he has enough fuel, which he definitely does, it will be the battle for 7th between Daffin and Kalhoff. Daffin, a tough night. He hits the wall. Kalhoff ends up 7th. Daffin 8th. Connor Azabel will come home 9th. So close to a race win. Needed a caution. Didn't get it. James Bowden, who ends up in 10th. Sievert 11th. Jackson Van Pelt 12th. Tyler Sievert ends up 13th. 4 laps down. Silla, Grab, and Tripp do not finish the race, but it's Matthew Weeks' 3rd win of the year, and he does it on probably the biggest stage here with 1 race to go in the series. A huge win for Weeks and the point standings, assuming these points are updated. I do believe they are. Matthew Weeks came into this race 5 points behind Jordan Kuntz. And with that, right there, 2 spots ahead of Kuntz, I believe he ties, if not takes, the points lead heading into the final race in Atlanta. And I believe he's out of fuel now. Balderas has got enough fuel to give him a little burnout now. And so Matthew Weeks will park it. Wait for him to join a VC, and we can interview your race winner for the 3rd time this year if Matthew Weeks joins a chat, but for now we might as well just talk to Baldy since he's here. Alexander Balderas, 2nd place. Let's go.
Man, my shoulder is gonna have to go take a couple ibuprofens, maybe an aspirin after this. Driving with one hand the whole race, trying to stretch out the fuel as much as possible. Had a great battle with Kuntz there in the end. Didn't know he ran out of gas until right in 3 and 4. He just cut it too close. I had enough. I think I saved a little bit too much. It didn't push early enough in that because I had like an extra lap coming to the line that I didn't know that I had because I miscounted when the laps and stuff were. So wasn't really ready for that. But my God, props to Kuntz and Weeks. There's a reason why these guys are like so forward in the playoffs and why they're probably going to be one of them down to the win. And this race is exactly why. Jim and I had the same exact strategy, just save a lot in the beginning, but they just saved harder than us. He stayed out an extra lap, and that extra lap counted to 3.5 seconds on the racetrack.
Yeah, so Weeks was, he did 2 less laps than you, but that was really paid off. You think you could have done anything different? Maybe saved a little harder, pushed a little harder? What was the difference?
The difference was, I think if I had realized earlier, I realized on lap 8 of the first run, and had I realized on lap 4, I would have had enough fuel to last those extra couple laps, and maybe had I been a little bit more diligent in saving the right front and pushed a little earlier here, I could have gotten to maybe 1 second, and if I did that stuff earlier, I would have been ahead of him. So it's all, coulda, woulda, shoulda, and if, ands, or buts, but in the end, I got second. And I think I'll take that after a strategy that I essentially came out of nowhere in my head that I thought, hey, maybe if I do this, maybe I'll fight for the win. Jim should be up here with me, but he says that there was a glitch that didn't have enough fuel in his car, and so he'll finish 11 seconds back. Yeah. So we'll have to go back at the R&D center and look at the 96 and see the fuel trace throughout the course of the race, especially the second run. But I'll take a second place at that strategy. It worked out really well in my favor, and I'm actually really happy with that.
All right. Well, do you got anything else to say, Mike?
Oh, I gotta thank you for putting this broadcast on. The whole FTN crew, they put their hard work in and week out, putting this broadcast up. The owners of SNT, Vinny Tigner, and then all them, they really would help put this show week in and week out. And another shout out to Weeks and Kuntz though, for seriously, those guys are awesome. And it wasn't gonna be, I'm just shocked as they won, but you'll get a word with Weeks here in a minute. But good race on them and good race overall.
All right. Thank you for talking, everybody.
Yeah, no problem.
All right. So Baldy ends up second. Doesn't look like we're going to have a chance to talk to Jordan Kuntz, but we will be able to talk to your race winner, Matthew Weeks. Third win on the season. How's it feel?
I'm sorry. Say that again. I didn't hear the first part.
It's your third win. How's it feel?
Feels good. I mean, that should be 4 in a row if that late race caution didn't come out last week. So we've been rolling really good lately, which is perfect for coming to the end of the playoffs here.
Yeah, so I think these point standings are updated as of last week. If I'm not wrong, you came into this race 5 points behind Jordan, and Jordan ran out on the last lap there. You got that couple extra laps of fuel, and you're able to pull away there. But you're going to come into the final race, I believe, the playoff leader, if not tied. So, what are your expectations there at Atlanta? How do you think it's going to go?
My expectation is to probably go out there and win the championship. Atlanta's probably one of my better tracks with my tire saving and everything. And so I'm just wanting to be contend, and I know Jordan's fast, and he'll be a challenge for sure.
All right. Well, you got anything else to say?
Shout out to JD Designs on the scheme, you guys for the broadcast, everyone that runs the league. Another good race, awesome fuel mileage race. That's my first one I've won that way in a long time, so it's cool to do that. And everyone that watched, I hope they enjoyed it.
All right. Well, congratulations. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
So, Matthew Weeks, third time winner this season, and he will have a much-needed playoff boost. He ends up ahead of Jordan Kuntz in the race, 2 spots, in fact, and I don't know how that's going to play into this point standings, but we'll see how it happens. The final race, I believe David will be back in the booth. Everything will be back to normal for the 15th and final race of the season. So it's going to be Matthew Weeks, the race winner, ahead of Balderas and Kuntz, the podium. James Thurston ends up 4th with maybe some underfueling going on in that Persistent booth, or that Persistent pit box. Vinny Tigner ends up 5th, Curtis Sabrin 6th, Cal Hoff 7th, Alec Daffin ends up 8th in a very, very confusing race there. A lot of tough calls he had to make. Connor Hasbell ends up 9th. After leading a bunch of laps there late, and James Bowden rounds up the top 10. Roger Sievert ends up 11th, and Jackson Van Pelt, the last car to finish the race, in 12th. Tyler Sievert 4 laps down at the end of the race. Daniel Silla wrecking out under the green flag pit stops, a crash on pit road. Matt Grab not able to finish the race. He just drifted out. I believe he lagged out, because I didn't see him wreck, and Chris Tripp did not start the race. So next week, here live on FTN, Saturday night, it's the season finale from Atlanta, the legacy layout of Atlanta here at the Xfinity car. No super speedway race in there, and that'll be an exciting race to say the least. So we hope you all had a good time. Tomorrow, I will be back here at Auto Club, conveniently, for the SRL Cup Series, and then David will be back on Saturday for the championship finale. Thank you all for tuning in. We hope you have a very good night.